Guys, just wanted to take a few minutes to show you some of the features within emergency reporting you may not be familiar with. The features that we're going to cover today include your home screen and your own profile. So we're going to start by going ahead and logging in. Again, this is cloud-based, so make sure that you give it a second. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see is the actual home screen itself. Now, when you look at my home screen, it may be a little bit different than yours simply because I've set it up to send me some notifications. And in addition to that, I have extra stuff over here that you may not have access to. The first thing I want to show you is how to modify your home screen to be a little bit more user-friendly for your own needs. Now, this will vary from chief officer to officers to firefighter themselves, depending on what you want to do. So the first thing I want to show you is what's actually on my home screen. So this is my training notifications right here. It shows that I'm enrolled in one class. I'm on the list of instructors for one class, and I have 586 classes that are overdue. And that's because we're in the middle of an audit in the actual training programs we delivered in last year. All right. A little bit below that, you'll see where certifications are. I have this set up to notify me when people are about to expire, about 60 days out, and anything that has been expired. Below that, you'll notice the maintenance tab that shows me all the open work orders for the trucks that are out there. And I'm going to show you why this is important here in just a second. So to change any of these notifications that pop up on your screen, all you have to do is hit change my notifications. This little button kind of hides a little bit, so if you're not looking for it, you may miss it. So this is going to open up, and the first thing it shows is calendar items. We're not currently using this, but it may pop up in the future, so we can display calendar messages. In the future, this may show when we have public relations events or stuff like that. Messages is essentially a preview into the email feature of emergency reporting. We use that pretty limitedly. You'll notice that there is an option to have it up here on the right-hand side, which is where I keep mine. The next thing I want to show you is incidents. Now, most of this is going to be for officers and chief officers, but there is something that is available to every firefighter and on up. And that's the thing that I just highlighted there. This is to display the number of incomplete incidents that are assigned to you personally. So for example, if you're dispatched to a call and you respond and you forget to do that report, it may be a chance that during the QA/QI process that report is assigned to you. And where you're going to see that is right here. So if you have incomplete incidents, you can click on that and it'll bring them up directly for you. All right, next thing beyond incidents is hydrants. This is mostly for maintenance and prevention, but if you want to see outstanding work orders on hydrants or out of service hydrants, you can do that. You can display pending work orders, which is what I just showed you. I'm going to show you that in a little bit more detail here in just a minute. You can display inspections, but that's more, again, for prevention, same with permits. So training is another thing that I like to see. So it shows a class summary, so it displays training information. And you can set these to your preference. So you can, in addition to today's enroll classes, display enroll classes for the next 30 days. These are classes that you are actually enrolled in, and then scheduled future classes or classes that are open for enrollment. And then you can show classes for which you're on the list of instructors for. All right, this one you don't need. This is more for the training division to kind of monitor what needs to be opened or closed. All right, last thing that works for you is to display certifications that are expiring within however many days you want. Now, on your screen, it's only going to show you what's going to expire for you, and I'm going to show you where this is important in just a second, so bear with me. Again, these are how you change your notifications on your home screen, and we're going to go back down to maintenance. Now, this is pretty cool for the officers out there who are wondering when stuff's going to be fixed. So, for example, let's pull up Station 2, and we're going to talk about the water level gauge. So, on 128, 930, engine 23 was written up for the water tank gauge, and this is essentially the summation of what's going on. Now, if I want to see the whole thing, I can click on this, and it's going to bring me into the maintenance section directly to this work order. So it takes just a second to pop up, but again, I can look at how we've discussed before, everything that's been done up to this point, the things that have been assigned, who's been assigned to, so it's assigned for Charles, scheduled date, this is the date we wanted it completed by, the request date, and that kind of stuff. So right now, this is past due, but that's okay. With everything going on, we're kind of prioritizing things as they come. So we're going to go back to that home screen, and I'm going to show you the next thing on my list for today, and that's your profile access. So down here at the bottom of the left-hand toolbar, you'll see this little button called My Profile. We're going to click on that. We're going to go over some important stuff that you can make sure is either up to date or things that you may need to correct. You can also print and look at your own certifications. So my profile brings you here. Stats isn't quite working yet, but the theory behind this is you should be able to click on this button, and we're almost to that point where we can do that. And it'll show you how many calls you've ran year to date. Also show you how many training events you've gone to and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool. You can track your own progress through the fire district. Personal info is just that. It's your name, your rank, kind of the station you're assigned to, and any other pertinent information like your start date. All right, contact info is what I want you to pay attention to. This is where you can really help the office out. So this email for password reset is the email that's going to be sent to you, or the address email will be sent to you if you ever forget your password and you click on that forget password link. That's where it's going to go. So if you don't want it to go to the email that's listed, then you need to put in a new email. It's about the only thing that you can adjust on your own. Just below that, it's emergency contact information. If you look at the phone number for my wife, it's not listed because this is going all over the internet and I don't need people calling her. So email address and phone number. Now, none of this is able to be changed by you, but what you need to do is look at it and make sure it's correct, because as the administrators or the office staff, this is the program that we go into to send you an email or to find a phone number or your address. The next tab we're going to look at is certifications right here. This one I think you're all really going to be interested in. So I'm going to preface this by saying this list over here is exactly what I have in your training file here at Western. So if it's not on this list, either we haven't gotten to it yet because it's brand new, meaning the certification you just turned in is too new and hasn't been put in, or we just don't have it. So as you're going through this list, if you think you have something that we don't have here, feel free to email it or drop it by the office and we'll get entered into your training file. So there's some cool things about this. We're going to focus on this, which is my paramedic license, right? Because the only certifications you can see are yours. So certificate type is just kind of where we plugged it into the system. Certification name is pretty self-explanatory. The date granted is the date either we got it in the office and we entered it, or it was the date the certificate was issued. It depends if the certificate had a date on it or not. The renewal date and the expiration date can be a little bit confusing. So we're going to focus on expiration first. This is when the actual certification expires. So mine will expire 7/31 of 22. Now the renewal date is the last time I updated the certificate. So my license was up and renewed in 7/31 of 2017. It'll be due again in 2022. And when I renew it, this date will come to there and the new expiration date will be plugged in. Now, why this is important. So tracking your own certifications, not only if you're an instructor, inspector, or investigator, but for you TRT members out there, if we scroll all the way down to rescue, there's my swim test for the year. It tells me when it expires as well. If we go back and talk about the home screen again, you can actually have these expirations pop up and remind you well before they're actually due. This will also be where you will see your fit testing, your insurance card, your driver's license, all of those things, important information that the district needs to keep up on. Okay, so that all being said, we're going to look at this last little part here that's really important. This kind of stuff you can look at your own convenience because wellness policies are not correct. That is just the standard stuff. We're in the process of getting policies into the library, which is over here. You guys will see that video coming soon. So my equipment we're going to click on. This is where all the equipment that is issued to you is listed. So for example, let's say you and another firefighter are sitting at the station and there's two pagers sitting on the table and you're like, I don't know which one's mine. You can always come into here, look for your pager, and there's your inventory ID. So you'll never be able to say that I don't know what number my pager is because now we're giving you access to it. So we have covered the home screen and the profile access that you have. That being said, if you have any other questions about emergency reporting, you can see a series of videos coming on other things, including how to populate incidents, how to sign up for training classes, and a whole mess of other stuff. If you have any questions, contact the training division. Don't be afraid to give us an email or a phone call here. And always stay safe.